former First Minister of Scotland, Humza Yousaf, has shut up a Sky News presenter after the latter asked him if his criticism for Israel for carrying out genocide in the Middle East would amount to anti-Semitism. I mean, seriously? This is the world has been reduced to these days? That you will be targeted, called names, and even be cancelled if you oppose massacres and Holocaust? Yousaf has been a fierce critic of the genocidal regime headed by war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. He was in London today to join those million-plus protesters who gathered in the capital city to voice their anger against the ongoing Israeli atrocities. Sky News went live to Yousaf as he was busy marching on the streets of London. Yousaf basically highlighted the complicity of the UK government in Israeli war crimes because the UK government has been supplying arms to be used against innocent men, women, children and babies of Gaza, the occupied West Bank and now Lebanon. That's a fact, isn't it? And that's exactly what he was trying to highlight. And this interview came on a day when Israeli terrorists massacred more innocent people, this time by targeting an orphanage. I mean, Israeli killing children and babies who had taken shelter in schools and other places is quite well established. We know that. We have seen enough examples of Israeli brutalities because that's where they thrive in. That's what they love doing that. But how depraved and what level of savagery you have to acquire to kill children and babies in an orphanage? That's what Israelis have done today. So congratulations to the supporter of this genocidal regime of Israel in British politics and media, particularly in the BBC, my former employer. I'm saying this in reference to my earlier video, which you can watch here. It's important that you watch such videos and share it. Share it to maximum. Otherwise, you cannot defeat the misinformation and propaganda of the mainstream media. So take it upon yourself to share such propaganda-busting videos. Anyway, returning to Yousaf and Sky News episode. So Yousaf told the Sky News presenter that the UK government had no business to keep on supplying arms to Israel when Israel was not listening to the call for a ceasefire by the UK. The Sky News presenter told Yousaf that even Hamas and Hezbollah were not paying heed to calls for a ceasefire. This prompted Yousaf to rightly ask why the UK was rewarding Israeli government with more arms even when Netanyahu, the head of the genocidal regime of Israel, wasn't listening to the British government. Fair question, isn't it? This is where the Sky News presenter asked Yousaf if he was in danger of being accused of anti-Semitism. Watch how Yousaf destroys the Sky News presenter.
In terms of being pro-Palestinian, is there a risk that you're being seen as too anti-Israeli, maybe even anti-Semitic?
So I just utterly reject that charge. And look, it cheapens anti-Semitism by saying that criticism of the Netanyahu government is somehow anti-Semitism, when there's Israelis who disagree and march in Tel Aviv in their hundreds of thousands against the massacre that's taking place and amongst Gaza. The attacks in Lebanon are being condemned by the United Nations. You're not trying to tell me that the United Nations is anti-Semitic. Of course it's not. So let's not cheapen anti-Semitism, which is real, which affects Jews up and down the country, to which I have railed against, stood against all of my life. What we're seeing here is people who are not by the way, Arab, pro-Muslim or pro-Palestinian. They're pro-humanity, and it's international law that we demand that people are held to account.
Zionists and supporters of the ongoing genocide in the Middle East have been seeking to hide behind anti-Semitism for long, therefore literally cheapening the word itself. War criminal Netanyahu recently said at the UN that UN was anti-Semitic. I'm not making it up. This criminal who ought to spend the rest of his life in jail, or if there was any provision, he should face the capital punishment. He was accusing the United Nations itself of being anti-Semitic. Watch it for yourself here.
The singling out of the one and only Jewish state continues to be a moral stain on the United Nations. It has made this once respected institution contemptible in the eyes of decent people everywhere. But for the Palestinians, this UN House of Darkness is home court. They know that in this swamp of anti-Semitic bile, there's an automatic majority willing to demonize the Jewish state on anything. In this anti-Israel flat earth society, any false charge, any outlandish allegation can muster a majority. In the last decade, there have been more resolutions passed against Israel in this hall at the UN General Assembly than against the entire world combined. Actually, more than twice as many. Since 2014, this body condemned Israel 174 times. It condemned all the other countries in the world 73 times. That's more than 100 extra condemnations for the Jewish state. What hypocrisy, what a double standard, what a joke.
That is the level of absurdity these criminals can go to. They would kill people for fun, commit war crimes, massacre more and more innocent people, and then project themselves as victims. This is the part of their toolkit, the toolkit that they launched in 1982, right in the aftermath of the Sabra and Shatila massacres. There was a meeting of the senior Zionist people in America. They got together just to deal with the negative PR, which they expected as a result of their killing spree in the Middle East. And one of the things they agreed on, that they should embark on a propaganda mission. They should take control of the global media to project themselves as victims. Watch this video. It's on our Telegram channel. I can't play it here. It's on our Telegram channel. Really eye-opening video. This is a video from the broadcast, a TV broadcast, a television broadcast, right, in the aftermath of that 1982 Sabra and Shatila massacre. And the Western media and politicians who are in their grip would help them amplify this lie. That's exactly what these people have been doing that. Even in the current crisis. They commit they commit war crimes, they kill people in thousands. They target hospitals, they target universities, they target libraries, they target schools, they kill babies. And yet the media would project them as victims. But the public at large, cutting across their religious beliefs, have woken up now. That is their problem. Because they have woken up. And they now see the true face of Israelis and their genocidal ideology. This was evident in a phone-in program on Nikki Campbell on BBC Radio 5 Live. The chap tried his best to hide Israeli crime. But then it took two callers, one Tony, one Andrew, to not only expose the BBC, expose 5 Live, expose Nikki Campbell's dirty agenda, but also the Israeli government. They were not Muslims. They were not Arabs. They were not Palestinians. They were native British white people. But humanity has no religion. And that is the sign. That's exactly what they fear. Hence this media propaganda. Hence this media propaganda on platforms like the BBC. It's high time that journalists in the West too recognize this changing reality. The sooner the better. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform. If you too think that this platform is worth supporting, then you too should consider supporting this platform on buymecoffee.com and Patreon. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. And turn the notification on so that when I upload my next video, you should be notified. God bless you all.